235 I got off Craigslist for $300, which I thought was a really good deal until I poisoned my fish in it. I took my goldfish out of here because I wasn't sure if it was the tank or because I cleaned the tank, but then I found out later it was the siphon I had been using was saturated in some chemicals. So I put some tin foil barbs in here and some bala sharks and some angelfish just to kind of occupy the tank, which I kind of regret now because I would really love to get some of Gary Hayter's Bristol Shabunkins, but hindsight's 2020, or when you're old like me, 2050. So I don't know what to do to escape this tank because it's like so deep. But the biggest issue was I was trying to use my sponge filters and it wasn't picking up particulates and it looked horrible in a glass display tank. So I finally gave in and added a canister, and I hate canisters. And there's a reason I hate canisters. I used hang on the backs for years. I mean, I've kept goldfish for almost 30 years now, and I've always kept hang on the back ones, and about 10 years ago I flipped to trying canisters, and my fish started getting floaty issues, bloaty, dropsy type issues, and dying. And I was feeding the right food, doing tons of water changes, couldn't understand why they were dying. And that was back when Solid Gold was on Goldfish, the Coco's Goldfish Forum. And I actually had a conversation with her about bacteria buildups in canisters. And all I will say is when I threw my canisters out, my deaths stopped. Now, was I very good about breaking that thing apart and cleaning it? Hell no. That was a pain in the ass, and I could not get that thing to click back together. So I never broke it down. It had this little green indicator that was supposed to pop up when it needed to, and it wasn't popped up, and I had water flow, and so I didn't break it down. I threw them away. Never had a problem after that. Well, now moderating it as I have been and being on Goldfish Keepers, Goldfish Junkies, the ones that I moderate, I have noticed a pattern of people that have canisters and end up with dropsy and fish dying. And I can't prove it, but the latest one, she had 2 fish get dropsy issues, floaty issues, hanging up the surface issues, and once she broke down her canister that she hadn't cleaned in several months, the gunk buildup in there was horrible, and her death stopped. She admitted she hadn't been cleaning that thing out because it was a pain, and she didn't want to hurt her cycle. And since then, her nitrates have been way better, and her fish death stopped. One of the other ones, I didn't ask him. He's like, I have a canister filter. I do everything right. I do the water changes. I feed just gel food. I don't understand what the problem. I don't understand why my fish are dying. He had canisters, and I told him I hate canisters because I suspect there is an issue with canisters. I don't know if it's anaerobes. I don't know if it's because, bacteria multiply in that, or whatever it is. Parasites harbor and reinfest. But it's why I hate canisters. But I'm getting this one because I can't keep this glass display one, and I'm going to try and just keep it once a month, break it down, rinse it out in tap water, and hopefully, because I have made my own small filters that I rinse out, clean out, and haven't had DIY trickle filters and crap like that. Never had a problem. So I've just been biased against canister filters. And that's my opinion. So if you have a canister filter, my advice is to make sure you are breaking that thing down and rinsing it every couple weeks. Don't let it go for months at a time. I've seen too many people that have lost fish that had canisters, and that's where I suspect the issue is.